Good evening, everybody, and hello, Wednesday nighters. Although it's Tuesday night for me, I can't do the show Wednesday, so I'm recording this. It is 9:05 yesterday. You're seeing this at 6 o'clock tomorrow. In fact, it's the last Wednesday one because me and Robert have decided, because of the fabulous live show that's going to be on Sunday Night Live, 7:30. I was talking to some of the guests today about what we're going to do. It's going to be hysterical. It's not like this. It's not me ranting and raving. It's getting other people to rant and rave. Think of the Andrew Marr show with balls and where we can say exactly what we want. So tomorrow I'll be at sea. As you're watching this, I'll be out in the twilight somewhere doing the final exam for my Yacht Masters degree. I want to be able to use the boat and make some films, and I thought the best thing to do it is to become a captain. And the way the career's going, there's always the Isle of Wight ferry to get myself a job on. Little script tonight. Here's what's happening to the script, because a bit unusual. I've got a few serious things to say tonight. I formed two charities in my life. One was 20 years ago now, the British Forces Foundation. And the reason I formed the British Forces Foundation, which provides entertainment for the troops all over the world, British troops, of course, is a couple of things. I looked at some of the artists that were doing CSE shows, Combined Service Entertainment, and I realised that they were getting paid a fortune. Not only were they getting paid a fortune, they couldn't have got a job anywhere else. They couldn't have gone to a club or whatever, because their days were numbered. They certainly didn't go on tour, but they got paid a fortune to go here, there and everywhere for CSE. Well, good for them. And I know a lot of young comedians now get paid thousands of pounds to go to Afghanistan and entertain the troops. I never charged a penny. I think I got 75 quid for 3 days in Northern Ireland all those years ago, and I didn't even know why we had troops in Northern Ireland. I didn't know anything about politics. And as soon as that conflict, or whatever you want to call it, was over and the troops pulled out, no one was more happier than me, who started to understand what things were all about just then. But the point came when I wrote to Margaret Thatcher when the Gulf War was on and said, look, I don't need any money to entertain the troops, I'll do it for nothing. And so I did, and I did lots of it, not because I was particularly funny, but because I was cost effective. How much in the budget? Nothing. I'll call Jim, he'll do it. Now I'm 66 and the troops are 19 and 20 years of age. They want to see the young comedians, but young comedians, do they want to see the troops? No, most of them are all lefty and vote Labour. And as I've seen on Twitter tonight, a man complaining to the mayor, Khan, of London, saying that all the boroughs that are buggering up things are all Labour, they're all Labour. And it's Labour that do not support patriotism in this country. So why would they go and entertain, you know, murdering British troops? Anyway, I did. I went to entertain them. And the crux came when Jerry Halliwell, Bobby Davro and Steps went to entertain the troops in the Oman in the dress rehearsal for Gulf War II. And I knew how much money they were being paid, and it was quite disgusting that someone could go on stage and say, thank you, God bless you, knowing full well that they were earning 3 times as much for 10 songs as a private in the army who was about to risk his life would get in a year. Fucking disgusting. And I know all you veterans watching and serving people, anybody should be upset with that. I spoke to Bobby, and he said, I said, you shouldn't charge for the troops. And he's all right. He said, they like you. They ain't too keen on me. Of course they are. They love you. Anyway, so I asked Ian Duncan Smith, who was a pal at the time, to ask the question, still is a pal, in the House of Commons, would he ask how much that show cost to put on? It was £550,000 to put the 2 shows on in the Oman that could have been spent on welfare for servicemen, certainly for welfare for things. So I didn't charge any money, and the British Forces Foundation still to this day provide artists for nothing. Yeah, they play the little funny, they pay the little jumper stand-up comics, and of course they pay the band and the dancers. If there is such a thing now, dancer, it's probably fucking sexist or whatever. And so I formed the British Forces Foundation 20 years ago, and about 6 years ago I formed Care After Combat with Smokey Cole, Simon Weston and Goose. an ex-22 boy. And we decided to look after the veterans in prison, and we did a fantastic job, and they are doing a fantastic job. When the chief executive, Smokey, went off, me and him had a row, I'll tell you the truth, and he said, I've had enough of you. So he left and went on to run the brilliant Veterans Foundation for the Falklands Veterans Foundation, and he does it marvellously. I took over for a while and then thought, well, I can't do this. I can't be paid as a bloody thing. So, you know, I didn't. So that's it. I didn't want the salary. Gave the salary away. Paid for a secretary to come and work for me. And I worked basically since then as an unpaid chief executive. I resigned as a trustee, so there was no conflict. Became anyway, etc., etc., etc. Life goes on, doesn't it? And the reason I could do that is because I was earning a fortune when I was working in the theatres. Now, what has happened? What happened is that now we're all in lockdown. I've not worked since last March, and so at the end of February, when I see this coming, I resigned as chief executive of Care After Combat. I resigned everything to do with Care After Combat, and we started to seek to find a chief executive. Very hard to find a chief executive to run a company, or basically it is a company, isn't it? A charity with 15 employees, 40 volunteers, 3,500 veterans to look after, and to do it for no money, no expenses, and to contribute £100,000 a year. So we're still looking for that person. Realistically, we're looking for someone to run the charity. I resigned in February, and I've been I've been helping as a volunteer and trying against all odds to find money when there's not that much about it. It's not that easy anyway. Would you rather give something to a soldier with a poor bugger with a leg missing? Yes, of course you would. You'd rather give that to someone that robbed a post office. But the person that robbed the post office, we don't want him to do it again. So that's the thing. We've reduced reoffending considerably. I say we, they have. Care After Combat carrying on now without me. And they have been doing so since February, although I've been helping as a volunteer. I've been helping design things, do things, raising money, putting stuff together, and they've got my ear all the time. But it would seem now that I have to make a choice between JDTV and volunteering for our veterans. I don't have to make a choice. I'm forced to make a choice by this woke cancel culture. Now, there was a lot of people on Twitter that didn't like what I said about diversity. Well, I wonder if those people saw what I said about diversity or just looked at the headlines in the newspapers, who take great pride in stirring up hatred by distorting what I've said or taking it out of context. I know that sounds like an old chestnut, but if you actually look at what I've said on JDTV and on YouTube and what the paper's reporting, there is a difference. And I believe a lot of people have reacted badly, but mostly the people that don't like me, most of the, Remainers and other people that don't like me anyway. But it's now got to the stage where certain institutions that I've been working alongside for the last 5 years as a volunteer have raised an eyebrow of what has been said by Care After Combat's chief executive. Well, I'm not Care After Combat's chief executive, and I haven't been since February. I'm here still looking for someone to come along. Any volunteers, please get in touch with Care After Combat. So it would seem that certain people, and I'll tell you, the Director General of the Prison Service got in touch with my chairman today and asked, was a tweet that I put on in answer to a woman that said, Jim Davidson, on Twitter, I'm a veteran woman, he should resign from Care After Combat because his views shouldn't be whatever. And I can understand the confusion of what I say on JDTV and what the charity stands for. Is there a conflict? In my mind, there isn't. Because I don't see it like that. But it's certain people that want to see it, they will look for conflict. And so now I replied to that woman in the third person. Jim actually retired in February. True. Jim is staying on voluntarily to help until a replacement is found. True. Jim doesn't take a salary. True. Jim doesn't take any expensive and contributes up to £100,000 a year. When we find a new Jim, Jim will go. But that doesn't seem to be enough. It's strange, isn't it? Well, it now seems, ladies and gentlemen, and veterans watching this, that I can now no longer even volunteer to help veterans. So you guys out there, get this message from me, you guys in prison, all you guys that I sit with, and when I come out the prison and leave you there, I could almost sit and weep. I wanted to take you all home with me. You deserve a second chance. Sometimes you deserve a third chance. You've given everything for this country, and I've given 25 years of my life to try and help you. I hope you don't think that I'm letting you down. I have no option but to walk away now and stop volunteering to help you guys who've given so much for this country. I did my best. Now I've got to step away to protect the charity that will continue to help you guys. Don't give up on Care After Combat, even if some people at the top are raising an eyebrow because their founder and chief executive, who resigned in February, has decided to speak his views about the way this country is going. If you need any more proof the way this country is going, go and have a look at my desk and my chair. It will now be empty. Okay. God bless you all. Take care, you veterans out there. There's lots of help for you. It just won't be me for a while, because it seems that I'm not allowed to.